Let's talk about the forgotten message of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Good morning, my friends. It is 8 o'clock in the morning here in lovely Akron, Ohio. Just a little too chilly for me to go on the back deck right now. But I'm sitting inside with my beautiful mug of coffee, loving my life as it were. Adam and Eve, the origin story supposedly in the Bible. And I say it supposedly because I think it's more mythology than anything else, but there's too many inconsistencies in that story to make it a possibility for them to be the first man and woman that ever lived. Like, where did their sons' wives come from? So there's a lot of inconsistencies in that story, but there is a moral to that story that often is overlooked or forgotten. And I always like to bring it up, and I always like to talk to people about this very simple message that people just tend to forget is there. You know, what exactly happened in that story? The main offense in that story, wasn't the snake. It wasn't Eve doing something bad. It was eating from the tree of knowledge. And then what was the punishment? They got kicked out of paradise. Eating from the tree of knowledge, going down these rabbit holes of belief, these pathways away from yourself, your inner feelings. Eating from the tree of knowledge, following the doctrines and dogmas of religions and ideologies and theologies, and going down these pathways to try to find something that's always there. In my regressions, Joshua at one point said, when you seek a path is laid before you. But until you turn the path back to yourself, you never find the doorway. How do we process our direct communication with the source, with God, with the consciousness? Well, we naturally process through feelings. We know when things don't feel good. We know when things feel great. We know we have these feelings. That is a communication with God. God speaks to us in feelings, not thinkings. The thoughts are of man. The idea of religion and doctrine and dogma and sacrifice and unworthiness and all of those ideologies that are thrust upon us by the pathways away from our feelings, we're told what to believe, which gives us a whole different set of feelings. But when you strip away all the ideologies, all the theologies, all the doctrines, all the dogmas, all the modalities, all the methods, all the techniques, and you just come back to your simple feelings, you follow the ones that feel good. Naturally, you get to the fire, it feels good, you go a little too close to that fire, it burns you, you step back, it feels that felt bad, so I'm going away from it. Our natural inclination is to follow our feelings, the things that feel good, the things that feel positive, the things that give us a sensation of well-being, a thing that makes us feel safe. That is our natural inclination. And Adam and Eve were showing us that once you get in your head, you're going to wander in the wilderness and get lost and feel separate from your direct connection that is found in the feelings within you. The feelings within you are the communication with God. And what's interesting is when you learn that language, because it's a language. It comes at you, it feels bad. There are choices you can do. You can assess that situation, and you can change that feeling of the person that you're interacting with. You can change how they feel by just simply being loving to them. If you assess that it's so vehement that it's not going to change, then you extract yourself from that situation. But it literally comes back to that line. They ate from the tree of knowledge and they got kicked out of paradise. Now, paradise, what is paradise? The people will have these images of what paradise is, but two people will have two separate images of what paradise is. For me, it's a beach. For somebody else, it's the mountains of North Carolina, right? So it's not the place, it's the feeling that those places engender. It's the feeling of the place. So we get kicked out of paradise. We got in our heads and we stopped feeling. We stopped having that emotional communication with our direct source in the here and now. Because that's the other thing is, feelings only exist in the present. In the past, you have memories of feelings. In the future, you are hopeful for feelings. But the only moment you express or feel or experience your true feelings, your true communication with God, is in here and now. And the here and now is when you have the ability to be very conscious and active in reacting to the world. You know, I tell people all the time, if you do what you love, the money will come. Well, it starts with doing what you love, being that greater, authentic expression of yourself that makes you feel good about who you are, and being that expression of paradise into the world so that the universe can show you that paradise in return. It's about you stepping into the idea of having an open communication through feeling with your outer environment and living into that feeling of just joyfully loving life. And when you start to live a loving life, the loving life surrounds you and you feel even better and you feel even greater. But what happens is we get stuck in our heads about things. And when we get stuck in our head about things and you stop and you, what am I stuck in my head about? You'll start to find out you're stuck in your past because of those things that happened back there. But if you actually extrapolate those things and you look at those things, how do those things happen, you can find the belief that led you to all of those experiences. And you can find it in the future too. You can say, if I think this, I can extrapolate that if I continue to think this, this will happen. But if I stay here and I go, I am living in this fully beautiful present moment, creating something beautiful. Now what's happening is the future will come into your life and show you what it is you're creating. You are the creator of the experience. And you create through that open communication, through feelings with God. And the more you can keep that open communication with God, beautiful, light, loving, caring, abundant, surrounded by people you love, all those things, then God will respond to you in the way you have communicated with God. And that in itself is the secret to living a joyful, loving life. All the rest, the doctrines, the dogmas, be they new age or old, are just pathways away from yourself. Come back to the direct communication through feeling with your source, and you can create anything you want. Nothing is impossible for you. You can ask mountains to move and it'll move. Nothing's impossible for you. It all comes back to you in direct communication with your source and communicating only lovingly, not fearfully. And then what happens is the forgotten message of Adam and Eve gets lived fully in the present. You set aside the fruit of the tree of knowledge, which is just other people's thoughts and ideas and modalities and methods, and you come back to the present moment, direct communication, and you create an amazing experience in life. And that's my thought on this, guys. On this channel, I only speak my truth. I live this way, and I live a joyful, happy life, and things happen beautifully around me. You can too. It's just a matter of setting down the fruit of the tree of knowledge and leaning heavily into the communication through feeling with your source. And that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.